Hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey. Yeah, shades. It's a nice day. So shades. It happens. It's science, dude. Yeah, so I tried to make a little recap vid over the weekend, but YouTube saw fit to be a dick about it and didn't let me upload it because it was too long. Quite unfortunate. Nonetheless, it's a nice day. I'm out for a walk. Figured I'd talk about shit now. First thing on the agenda. Hugh Jackman went on Instagram and said, "Look man, Wolverine, one last time." So that's it. That's him hanging up the adamantium claws after his next round. Now, one would assume, we know there's another James Mangold Wolverine movie afoot, which is pretty cool. Because the Wolverine was outstanding, except for the last act, except for the third act, where he ends up fighting a robot samurai. What was a very cool, grounded, gritty Wolverine movie that had nothing to do with the X-Men suddenly ended with him fighting a robot samurai, and it was just, it annoyed me. But I liked it. Good show. And I'm excited for the Wolverine 2, or Wolverine 3, who knows. So that's happening. So yeah, so he's hanging up the adamantium claws after that. We know that he's going to be, well, there's a question mark over whether or not he'll be in X-Men Apocalypse. It'd be pretty cool for him to show up as like a surprise cameo, as a surprise final boss. Because he's death. In the comics, he's obviously the four horsemen of the apocalypse. One of them is death. Wolverine is death. Wolverine is death. And yeah, so that happens. So yes, that's cool. There's been some talk about what they'd like to do for the last Wolverine. I would like them to go with something like Old Man Logan, but the logistics of pulling that off. And they've kind of already touched on that with the Wolverine, where he's a pacifist. He won't, well, not quite a pacifist, but refuses to pop his claws. Pretty cool, I'd say. Next item on the agenda. Stephen Amell has announced, on April Fool's Day no less, that he is going to play Casey Jones in the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can get behind that. It's not a massive stretch for him. He is still playing a powerless street vigilante. And there's a joke in there about the Canadian guy playing a superhero who fights people with hockey sticks. But I love Casey Jones. He's the coolest character in the Turtles, bar maybe Raph. And thank fuck, man, because I'm glad they're taking the right approach for this. From what I understand, from the early draft of the script that they had for the first movie, he was going to be just another Sam Witwicky, just another Shia LaBeouf character. So thank Christ for that. They're doing him right. They're making him a streetwise vigilante who can go toe to toe with the Turtles. Cool beans. Yeah. Next, George R. R. Martin released an excerpt, another little chapter from Winds of Winter, the 6th book in the series of A Song of Ice and Fire. And it's a Sansa Stark chapter. I won't spoil it, but we see more of Sansa sort of. Sansa and Arya are kind of, they're running parallel to each other in terms of they both, after what happened in Ned Stark way back in Book 1, Season 1 of Game of Thrones, they've kind of fallen through hard times and they've learned through it through some very diverse mentors. So, whereas Arya is learning about life and death and how to be a badass and how to take matters into your own hands through the sword, through sword play, murder and things, and violence. Learning at the hands of like Syrio Forel and Jack in the Car, the Hound. Sansa was a prisoner in King's Landing. She went to court. She learned through all the lords and ladies, all the noble folk, and she's sort of taken that on board. So she's playing the Game of Thrones, and it just shows more of that. She's been tutored by like Littlefinger and Marjorie and people like that. So She's adept at these things now. She's using her wits and her guile and her feminine wiles to play the Game of Thrones, and that's awesome. More of that. We see Sansa becoming more of an interesting character instead of the little girl who was, I want to go to King's Landing and be a princess. Remember her? Remember her? Nah, she's dead. We're never seeing her again. What else? ABC have announced that they're possibly thinking about bringing back the Muppet Show. I like that. This is good. I watched Muppets Tonight in the 90s. It was good. Muppets Most Wanted, the sequel to the awesome Muppets movie with Jason Segel, was not great. It was okay. The saving grace was the songs, but we've got Brett from Flight of the Conchords to thank for that. So yeah, smoke on the water, the fire in your eyes. That's happening. They've announced there's going to be a Hawk Girl spin-off from Arrow and shit. They've announced Adewale Akinwumi Agbaji, the guy who played Mr. Echo in Lost. He's going to play Killer Croc in the Suicide Squad. What the fuck, DC? I mean, they're packing this film to the gills, and now I'm concerned. It was the same with Batman v Superman. Great concept, but it just looks like they're going to throw everything they can at it and overcrowd it, and then it's going to be a questionable concept. So, yeah, shucks. So yeah, those are the stories that mattered to me whilst I've been off sick from YouTube. I am currently walking by the lagoon in the sunshine, discussing them with you. Next video I make that you will watch will be me discussing Furious 7. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe. Oh, hold on. Should mention, I did some articles there for Comic Buzz regarding villain versus villain fights, man. And I've spent last night in a bar with a dude defending who I chose to be the winner between Boba Fett and Predator. And I will continue to defend that. He knows who he is. So yeah, I'll put the links in those below, so please check them out. Help a brother out. Yeah, that's my video, YouTube. See you when I see you.